Do not see yourself as a conscious being. Instead, realize experientially you are consciousness itself. Peace to you and you and you and all my fellow expressions of consciousness. We all know experientially the answer to, does the brain generate consciousness? We all know experientially the answer is a clear no. Yet, through imagination, we say yes. Through dogmatic belief of what scientists say, other people say, we go along with it and say yes. But if we truly look at this, we will see that the brain doesn't actually exist. It is a concept, as all matter is. For example, all you know of the brain is seeing it on a TV, seeing it in a book, or maybe seeing it in real life. That is a perception. Yes? Let's say your head was half open and you could feel your brain. You would not be feeling a brain. If you was to be sincere, all you would be aware of would be a sensation. Thought would label the sensation brain. But thought can label objects anything. Doesn't mean it's what it is. It's just a label. Labels can come and be ripped off. Just a label. So all we would actually be aware of is a sensation, or the perception of it, or the thought of it. Now, here's the evidence. A perception, please be sincere with yourself here. Let's try to learn together. A perception. Does a perception know anything? Or is a perception known? The experience of a perception is known. Yes? This is the same for sensation, the same for thought. Sensation and thought does not know anything. They are known by what you are. You are aware of the experience of a sensation, the experience of a perception, the experience of thoughts and images. You are aware of those. Thus, you must not be a sensation, a thought, or a perception, essentially, because as we just saw, perceptions don't know anything, so you cannot be a perception, essentially. A thought does not know anything, it is known, so you cannot be a thought, essentially. A perception does not know anything, it is just known, so you cannot be a perception, nor sensation, nor thought, essentially. So what you are is the consciousness that observes these phenomena, these concepts. So the brain is also just a perception. The brain is also known as a sensation or just a thought. So there is no brain. There is just the sensation, the thought brain, the perception. Do you see that? Without the knowing of the perception, the knowing of the sensation, the knowing of a thought, there can be no brain. Because the consciousness must be first, must be primary, to allow for the sensations, perceptions, thoughts to arise. And then come up with the concept matter, come up with the concept brain, there must be something that the so-called brain is existing within, because it is experienced. So something is experiencing the experience. To say that consciousness comes from a perception, from a sensation, from thought, is complete imagination. Because after all, that's what all we are aware of with matter, with the brain for this video. But let's just say brain. So to say consciousness comes from brain, yet we experience the head, the brain is in the head. So to say the brain is generating experience and we experience the head would be to say that your head is inside your head. How crazy does that sound? Or that your brain is within your brain. Let me rewind. That I'm sure sounded confusing, that last part at least. If you're not used to this truthful, evidential investigations into reality, otherwise known as Advaita Vedanta or true non-duality. Here's the brain, okay? It's generating, going with the mainstream Western model, it's generating consciousness, thus it's generating experience. Yet we know the brain is in the head already. So here's a head actually. And the head is generating by the brain experience. Here is you. You have a head. You can touch your head. So that would mean there is a head generating the experience of a head. So it would be saying that your head is generating your head. I mean, this is complete imagination. If we look at it sincerely, wholeheartedly, no one gains by speaking truth. Surely we are all seeking together. Surely we want a truthful world with love and no dogmatic beliefs that have caused so much problems in this world. For to believe that the brain generates consciousness is a dogmatic belief, as we just saw, as we just investigated. If you did it sincerely with me, all you know of the brain is an appearance. The appearance is known as a perception or a sensation or a thought. But those things do not know anything per se. They are known. So the brain does not exist outside of the concept. Of thought, sensation, perception. What we can say is we are that which observes perception, observes sensation, observes thought, or we are that knows those things. Thus we are conscious. Thus we are consciousness. Because we cannot perceive what we are. We are not the body. For the body is a part of experience. As we just saw, we are experiencing experience. The whole world exists, so-called world of matter, exists within the knowing of it, meaning within thought. Yet thought itself is known. All of our evidence suggests or simply is, but let's say suggests. We are conscious. We are aware of experiences. We experience thought, we experience perceptions, we experience sensation. That simple. Thus, we are that which experiences experience. That simple. Thus, we are prior to experience. That simple. We are not the thought, the mind, because we are experiencing mind. We attach to it and believe we are essentially it, but we are not, because we know it. The person you believe you are, you know that person. So how can you be it? You know the thought, you know the memory, you observe. So how can you be it? The brain, of course, is wonderful and has its uses and has its attributes. It's useful in some ways to understand this Maya, this mind world. But all one is saying is it's not essential to consciousness. It is known by consciousness because you know it, because it is just a perception or a thought or a sensation. You will never say I'm not conscious. Even in deep sleep, you are still conscious. You wake up the next morning and say, oh, I had a good sleep, or oh, I had a bad sleep, because you were still conscious. But you remember nothing because there was no mind. We can only remember if there is a thing, but we are no thing. We are formless, essentially. How do we know this? Look right now and try to find that which is observing your thoughts right now. Not the thought. That which is observing the thought. That which knows the thought is in the mind. Have a look at that. Can you find it? Of course you can't if you were to be sincere, and that's fine. It just goes to show again that life is far more fluid and subtle and beautiful than we've been conditioned to believe. There are all possibilities, and you are the possibility, for you are the formless that all the illusory form comes out of. For even science will say everything is atoms, and atoms are mainly spacious. So they're almost there, but they have to understand first that matter is known by consciousness. Matter is a concept. But let's not go too far into that. I hope I've said enough for you to understand that you are that which perceives brain. Thus the brain is not the generator of you, of consciousness. You are pure consciousness, aware of appearances, aware of sensations, perceptions and thoughts. They cannot exist without your knowing of them. Thus you are primary. Have a wonderful day or evening. If you like the video, then like the video. If you want to comment, comment. Please share. Please subscribe if you want to. And have a wonderful evening or day. Bye.